Morbius, Morbius, wherefore art thou? Any interesting plot developments of Morbius? Hello, everyone. I watched Morbius fresh out of the theater. Well, basically, I had to drive home, but I'm fresh out of the theater. Just watched Morbius, the latest Marvel Sony picture combination, and it's about Morbius, one of the lesser known or lesser not cool Spider-Man villains. I mean, I liked it as a kid because I was obsessed with vampires. But not many people like Morbius, and not many people have reviewed Morbius, the movie, that well either. While I understand some of the criticism, other criticisms I don't understand. So if you don't know what Morbius is about, it's a Marvel movie taking place in the Sony Spider-Man universe. It stars Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius. It's got Matt Smith as Milo Morbius. It also has Jared Harris, Tyrese Gibson, some other people, and basically he wants to cure his rare blood disease, and he mixes human blood with bat blood, and he becomes the living vampire known as Morbius. And that's the plot of the movie. There is some little intricacies there, but overall, it's very bland. It is, I will say this, it is not as bad as the reviews are making it, but it is very routine, very plays it safe, very much a story that you can follow. It is a very easy to follow story, but it doesn't do anything crazy. It doesn't do anything exciting. Tyrese Gibson plays an FBI agent, and his role is basically useless. It is there to stare at Morbius and ask him questions and not really do anything. There is a love interest in this. Morbius's girlfriend, Martine Bancroft, also a doctor, is like assistant doctor. They're like co-doctor figuring this rare blood disease out. But yeah, overall, it's not interesting, but it's also not super terrible like all the critics are making it out to be. It is got what it does have is some really, really good followable action. It has some good followable like plot developments. It's not gonna be over the top great. It's not gonna knock your socks off. It is not a good movie at any means, but you can follow the plot. The action, you can follow it. There's no shaky cam in most of the action fights. The way he develops his powers and understands his powers is cool. It's not weird in any way. It's not weird enough. I like my vampire movies weird, and it wasn't a weird enough vampire movie. I think that's the best way to describe the movie. And you want some weirdness with your vampires, and I just didn't get it. I got some very bland stuff. Matt Smith, who plays the bad guy, there's some interesting like play there, like a brotherhood, but overall, it's not really anything. It's not really anything. It's just setting up the Sinister Six. Adrian Toomes, Michael Keaton's version of the Vulture, shows up and he gets transported from the MCU into the Sony Spider-Man universe. And it's kind of confusing in a way, I guess, but it's easy. You could just easily write it off as, oh, all the Spider-Man villains have just been transported, and now Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to have a whole new set of villains. And so Adrian Toomes is now in the Venom universe with Morbius. That's 3. And I'm sure there's a Green Goblin out there somewhere. And I'm sure there's going to be a Kraven the Hunter. And they're going to create the Sinister Six. So we're going to have to sit through another, hopefully it's the other movies coming down the pipeline are not as bland as this one. But we're getting a bunch of stuff. All this to say, I'm pretty sure Andrew Garfield is going to be this universe's Spider-Man, which I'm kind of digging. that Spider-Man up against this version of Venom and this version of Morbius and this version of Vulture, because he's very quippy and sarcastic and like over the top with that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play all that out. Yeah. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10 fangs. It's bland, doesn't really do anything other than have some good action and a followable plot. But at the end of the day, most people probably, like, the audience is going to enjoy this. I expect the audience score to be better than the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, not hard. But in the same vein that Venom sort of defied the critics' response, I don't know if Morbius will, just because I don't see Jared Leto being like a bankable star like Tom Hardy is. But you never know. These things, these Sony movies, they surprise you. But yeah, I'm more excited for the future movies than I am this movie. At least it had some cool action. That's it. Bye-bye.
Un esercito di prodi